this is going to be the rhythm guitar for Bonnie Raitt's Love Me Like a Man, okay? A couple years ago, I posted the intro, which is kind of a lead thing, and now I'm going to do 12 bars of her rhythms. Pretty complicated. First, I'm going to play the intro, 4 bars, into 12 bars of rhythm. Then I'm going to stop, and I'm going to break it all down, okay? So it starts like this. Intro. Okay, sort of like that. Pretty good, not bad. Just learned it this morning. Now, the intro is on my other video, and I break it down beat per beat. Now, here's going to be a breakdown of the 12 bars of rhythm. It's really classic. For most guitar players, this is an awful lot of information that you can use to spin off into all kinds of other stuff. So, 12-bar blues, I always think of it as 4 bars on top, 4 bars in the middle, and 4 bars at the bottom. Now, the 4 bars in the beginning are 4 bars of E, okay? Now, she could have done this. It could have been this. Okay, basic thing. It's like 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and, right? So my first finger, I start off on, it's like a power chord, the 6th and the 5th strings. It's the 2nd fret, the 4th fret, and the 5th fret of the 5th string. So that's 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3. Okay, so we could have had 4 bars of that, but that's just not what she did. She did something kind of a lot more complicated, kind of cool. So it starts off on the first beat. It's like an E chord up to the, and with a hammer on the 3rd string. Okay, so it's like, and then beat 2. So it's 1, 2, 3. Okay, and then on 4, it's got this little fill. What's this? Okay, so this is like an A chord in the 2nd fret. So it's like strings 4, 3, and 2. And then back to E with a little hammer on. So okay, now watch how this hangs. One measure. 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and... Let me just play that. Now, I'm kind of using a flat pick for all of this at the moment. I probably would finger pick it, but, you know, honestly, I'm trying to save my nails, which are starting to fray up, and I got some gigs coming up, you know, but I can down pick all of this. Let's see. With my pick. Okay, so that's another way to do it. Okay, so that's measure number 1. Okay, so in other words, a simple way to do it would be, but the way it is that on the live recording. Okay, measure number 2 starts off with, so 1 and 2 and 3 and then there's this fill. It's kind of like a, I don't know, I associate this with like a John Lee Hooker kind of Delta blues thing. Okay, so it's on beat number 4, you bend the 3rd string. Okay, so it's 4 and up. So watch how this hangs. Okay, now for this bend, you bend it up and down, and then you pull it off. So you only strike the 3rd string once. Okay, I'm more accustomed to do that on electric guitar. You know, I might even do a video of this just all on electric guitar. Sounds fantastic on my Telecaster, this guitar part. That's a whole other thing. So that's measure number 2. All right, so. Okay, so here's measures number 1 and 2 together. Okay, measure number 3 is going to be. Okay, now what this is yet another variation. It's 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So we have that E chord with the hammer on the and of 4. So it's measure number 3. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Okay? Here's the first 3 measures now. No, that's not it. Hold it. I'm sorry. Measure number. First 3 measures. Okay. Then measure number 4 is going to be, again, this lick for 3 beats. And then we hit like a E chord. And then we sweep it down to the single note 3rd fret of the 6th string, and that's gonna be like a lead up into the 5th measure, which is an A chord. Watch. Okay, watch. Here's the whole 4th measure. I'm sorry again. Okay, so now we go to A. Okay, so for A, what we're gonna have is the basic form of it is going to be. Okay, so now we're moving the 4th string from the 2nd fret to the 4th fret to the 5th fret, back to the 4th fret with like a kind of a power chord. So I'm like down picking this. Okay, but that's not exactly how she does it. So she goes 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So this is kind of like a sweep pick on the and of 4. Watch. And 2 and 3 and 4 and. Second bar of the A. Okay, so it has a slightly different melody in the second bar. So it's like 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Okay, so here are bars 5 and 6. So it's like. Okay, then bar 7 and 8 is really just a guitar fill. Okay, there's a space from the voice, and it was this lick. Okay, now what's going on there? So it's an E chord with that little hammer on the 3rd string, and then we sweep pick up. So the way I do it is I go on the 2nd fret of the 4th string, and I kind of mute out the 3rd and the 2nd strings, and then I take my 3rd finger and put it in the 3rd fret of the 1st string. So it's a sweep pick up. This is a great lick. So watch. I mean, you can use this lick in a million places. Okay, that's probably the hardest lick in the collection of them. Okay. 1 and 2 triplet, 3 triplet, 4 triplet, 1, 1, 2 and 3, 4. So it's 1, 2, 1, 2 and 3, 4. Okay, here's the whole lick. Okay, then to B7. Okay, so this is like the 9th bar now. So pretty straightforward. So B7 chord, which is the 2nd fret of the 5th string, the 1st fret of the 4th string, the 2nd fret of the 3rd string. And then to A, we're going to do... Okay, I left one little thing out. On the B7, it's 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. It's a nice touch. So that's the 5th fret of the 4th string. Watch. Now a turnaround. So 1 that's the one she did. I'm, like having a little trouble remembering all this. So it's the turnaround is 1 and 2 triplet, 3 triplet, 4 triplet, 1. Okay, so 1 and 2 triplet, hammer on from the 3rd fret to the 5th fret. That's a really nice touch. So 1 and 2 triplet, 3 triplet, 4 triplet, 1 and 2 triplet, 3. Okay, something like that. So that's slowing down the whole thing. Okay. Now, so I can make some recommendations on this from my own point of view. Okay. Now, certainly, if you really know your blues well, you might just go for this and learn all of it. Okay, because it's really excellent. Okay, but if you want some more practice, you could practice this, and this makes a lot of sense. So just like this for 4 bars of E, and then 2 bars of A just like this. Anyway, just to sort of simplify it, okay? Now, another thing we could do is just do it. Okay, so in other words, now there's a little trickier, but it's 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Remember that lick from earlier on, and we can just do that repetitiously. I know myself, I learned how to do all this blues stuff just by kind of like doing rhythm parts that were kind of repetitious or what they'd say in music theory, sequential through the progression. I think that's a really great way to start. But anyway, a lot of people asked me for this video, and here it is, rhythm guitar on Love Me Like a Man.